Hello, it's Dawn here and welcome to another project in our series of painting with our watercolour pencils on different types of surfaces. If you joined me yesterday, you will have seen me using mount board or museum board, and we saw the pros and the cons of using that. Well, today we're going to use an acrylic paper. This is from an ordinary acrylic pad, and as you can see it does lift a little, but that's okay. And we're going to show you how, when you put the pencil on, you can actually see the texture of the paper through the pencil and how it reacts when we use the water with it. And we're going to use a basic wash for this bit just to finish off the sea, and then we do this little rock here, and I'm going to do a different technique just to show you the two different techniques on this acrylic pad. So let's get going. I am using a cobalt blue, but you can use any sort of mid to dark blue that you like, any one that you happen to have in your collection. And we're going to start shading on right now, and as you can see the grain of the paper coming through as we shade our pencil. Now, another tip, it might be an idea to have a pencil sharpener handy. I've got my one with a handle that you can wind, but because of the roughness of this paper, sometimes it does have a tendency to break the pencils, as we discovered yesterday on the mount board. So make sure you've got your pencil sharpener handy, just in case the pencil breaks. So we're going to carry on. You can see the texture coming through quite nicely, and this paper is brilliant if you want to paint something with texture. And if you heard that noise, it was someone beeping their horn outside. I'm sorry about that if you heard it. And so this is for texture and anything that has a different reaction. And we're going to take our brush. Let's just brush those bits off there. Not quite sure where they came from. And we're going to take our brush here, and I'm going to show you what happens when we put the water on. You see, we still get that texture, but the grain of the paper actually becomes part of the texture of what you're painting, but it disappears. You don't see these gaps here. They disappear. So we're going to carry on and finish that little bit here. Just finish off this bit of sea here. And it will, because it's non-porous, which means it doesn't soak through, it does dry quite quickly. And as I've got my studio light hovering above it because it's a dark day today, it'll probably dry even quicker. So there we go. There's the sea completely finished. And I'm going to give this brush a good wash, because these are watercolour pencils rather than Aquarelle, which means they're a stronger pigment. And so I'm going to wash my brush out because I don't want blue rocks. And what we're going to do, I'm going to get my brown pencil ready, and we're going to paint these rocks, and we're going to paint them with a feathering technique, and we're going to do them dry onto wet, or into wet. And we'll start with this rock here first. We are going to get a bit of the blue mixing in, but that won't show by the time we put our brown pencil on, so don't worry about it. If that happens, don't let it bother you. So you just do that, and just do a little water, not much. If you do more pigment than you do water, you will get a rougher texture. So there's another tip for you. That will be particularly true of this lovely acrylic paper, but that's true of any type of paper or any surface that you're working on. If you use less water and more pigment, you will get a rougher texture in watercolour pencils. So that's another technique for you to create texture. So I will add this in the link below in the description, so you don't have to remember all this. All I've got to do is remember to put it in for you. So I'm the one that has to do the remembering. So we'll do our best to do that. I'll write it down on my little pad when we're done. That's how I do remember these things. I have a pad that I write things down on. And so we're just going to finish off this little scene by just finishing off this rock. This one comes forward a bit just to give it a bit of dimension. And there we have a very simple seascape with some beautiful textured rocks. And just to finish off as a final indulgence, and now the sun's coming out, fantastic, I'm going to just use a dark pencil and put a couple of birds in. Just one there and one there. Oh, let's do one over here, final extravagance. And there we go, I really have finished this time. I'll stop playing with it. As someone once told me, stop fiddling. So I'm going to stop fiddling with it now. And there is our painting. Now the sun's come out and I think it's probably bleached it out a bit. Let's see if we can turn that light down a bit. bring it down. There we go, that's a bit better. And there we go, we have our seascape finished. Sorry if that wobbled the camera a bit. And we have that, and if you come back tomorrow, I will be using yet another texture, and it will be, again, completely different. And so pop back tomorrow and you'll see which surface I'm painting on then. And in the meantime, do stay very safe, have fun with your painting, and enjoy the rest of the day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye till then.